Dreaming in a distorted reality. I found myself standing in the middle of a dimly lit carnival. The air smelled faintly of burnt sugar, and the world seemed slightly tilted, as if the ground was sloping subtly under my feet. I knew I was dreaming. It hit me all at once when I saw the Ferris wheel. It was spinning backward, its lights flickering unnaturally fast, like a glitch. I decided to test my lucidity, so I walked toward a crowd gathered near a funhouse. Their faces were oddly familiar, but their features wouldn't hold still. One man turned to me. His eyes were large and glassy, and his mouth opened impossibly wide when he spoke. "Why are you here?" he asked. "I'm dreaming," I said confidently, but as the words left my mouth, the crowd turned to look at me, their faces synchronizing into expressions of surprise, then hostility. "You're not supposed to know," a woman hissed. Her voice echoed in my head like it was coming from inside me. I backed away, but the crowd closed in. Suddenly the ground beneath us shifted, and I fell into what felt like an endless void. When I landed, I was in a different place, an old, decrepit school hallway. Lockers lined the walls, their doors ajar, but instead of books, they were stuffed with what looked like flesh. I walked down the hallway, my footsteps making no sound. At the end of the corridor, a door stood slightly open, light spilling through the crack. I pushed it open and entered a classroom. Inside, people were seated in rows, but they were whispering to one another in a language I didn't understand. One of them, a girl about my age, turned and smiled at me. Her smile was too wide, her teeth too sharp. "You've been here before," she said, her voice distorted. I shook my head. "No, I haven't." "You'll stay this time," she replied, and the whispers grew louder, overlapping until they were deafening. I covered my ears, but it didn't help. The walls began to melt, revealing a black abyss behind them. I ran out of the room, back into the hallway, only to find the crowd from the carnival waiting for me. Their faces were now fully formed, familiar faces from my real life, friends, family, even strangers I'd passed on the street. They all stared at me, unmoving. One of them stepped forward, my best friend. "Wake up," they said, but their tone was mocking. "I can't," I said, panic creeping in. I tried pinching myself, slapping my face, even screaming, but nothing worked. The crowd began chanting, "Stay, stay, stay." The hallway began to collapse inward, the walls folding like paper, the ceiling descending to crush me. My vision started to blur, and I felt like I was being pulled backward, away from myself. Just as I thought I'd suffocate, I woke up, or at least I thought I did. I was lying in my bed, drenched in sweat. But when I looked at the foot of the bed, the girl from the classroom was standing there, her wide smile glowing in the darkness. "You'll come back," she whispered, and then I woke up for real. I've been afraid to sleep since.